You Maggie clowns think you're so damn smart.
What?
Buckle up, buttercups. Welcome to the Deep Dive Report Show with Mike and Sam. We're about to rip into the absolute dumpster fire that is the start of this Trump 2.0 nightmare.
Yeah. It's frankly the speed and just the radical nature of what we're seeing in these first few months. It's genuinely alarming. So today we're digging into exactly the administration's immediate actions.
What actions? You mean the executive order blizzard?
Well, yes, the executive orders, the highly questionable appointments, their stated policy goals, which are pretty out there, and how they're reacting when the courts push back. We need to unpack what this all means.
Alarming. Try
Yep.
terrifying. And let's cut this isn't random. It's straight out of the Project 2025 playbook.
Yeah.
The Heritage Foundation's little guide to installing an autocracy.
Right. Trump tried to distance himself, didn't he, initially?
Pathetic attempt. Total BS. This is their agenda. Every damn part of it.
The alignment is, well, it's undeniable, despite those denials. We're seeing the core goals pursued incredibly fast. Things like fundamentally reshaping government and installing people whose main qualification seems to be loyalty.
Total loyalty. Forget competence. And they're not wasting any time. 143 executive orders in just a few months. That's not governing. That's decree. Congress might as well not exist.
It certainly bypasses the usual legislative process, yes.
We've got clips of him practically bragging about it. And what are these orders actually doing? Gutting NPR, God forbid actual facts get out. Attacking diversity programs like they're, I don't know, ISIS.
They framed it as a national security issue, which is quite a stretch.
It's insane. And of course, pedal to the metal for fossil fuels, climate change be damned. That's a radical, destructive agenda rammed through at warp speed.
And related to that speed and agenda is this clear preference for loyalty over actual competence in who they're appointing. I mean, look at Mike Waltz.
Oh, God, Waltz.
Yeah. Well, he gets reportedly pushed out as national security advisor, concerns about leaks, apparently. And then what happens next? He gets nominated for UN ambassador.
It's just rewards for failure. Leaks classified info, gets a promotion. It's unbelievable cronyism, a total insult to actual diplomats.
It raises serious questions about the criteria, doesn't it, for these absolutely critical roles.
And remember Rubio, briefly Secretary of State and acting National Security Advisor. At the same time.
That overlap, yes. It's highly unusual in modern times and raises real concerns about just capacity and focus in critical security areas. You saw the reaction from former officials online.
Yeah, sheer disbelief, ex-post lighting up. And it fits the pattern, right? All these political donors getting ambassador jobs. Fertitta, Stevens, Barrick, Perdue.
Exactly. Their primary qualifications often appear to be, well, political connections or how much they donated rather than deep diplomatic experience.
And while they install these hacks, what are they doing to the actual professionals?
That's the sharp contrast. We're seeing significant cuts to career staff. Reports mention, 1,200 jobs potentially cut at the CIA, thousands more across the intelligence community.
They call it streamlining. It's bullshit. It's about purging anyone who isn't a diehard. This Schedule F plan, it's designed specifically to fire experts and bring in yes men.
It dismantles expertise in favor of political alignment. And if you look broader, it seems part of a strategy. Think about the proposed billion-dollar cuts to the national parks.
$1 billion from the parks. Are they nuts? And floating the idea of handing them over to the states.
Yes, transferring control. Plus, the cuts to science funding, dismantling the Department of Education. It points towards a deliberate shrinking of the federal government's role in, well, pretty vital areas.
It's a fire sale. Yellowstone run by, some cash-strapped state government?
Yeah.
And shifting disaster costs onto states already struggling. It's cruel. Governors are livid. We've seen the quotes.
And this attitude extends to the legal system. Take Judge Beryl Howell's reaction to that executive order targeting the law firm Perkins Coie.
Yeah, she called it an unprecedented attack, didn't she? Thank God for judges with some backbone.
She did. It signals a real disregard for legal norms, targeting lawyers seen as political opponents.
Exactly, a political hit job. And remember the Texas judge who stopped them trying to deport Venezuelans using that archaic Alien Enemies Act.
Yes, that ruling was significant. And the administration's reaction.
Smear the judge, call them Democrat activists, claim they're protecting terrorists, zero respect for judicial independence unless it serves them. You see their lackeys attacking judges on X all the time.
And it's this pattern, isn't it? Dismiss the legal challenges, then push for even more radical legal positions. Asking the Supreme Court to strip protections from Venezuelan refugees, that's a huge step.
It's horrifying. And what was that thing with Elon Musk, the AOG proposal?
Ah, yes. The idea of somehow accessing Social Security records, it shows a very troubling disregard for established legal protections and basic privacy rights.
Musk wanting to rifle through Social Security data. This is the free speech guy. It's a dystopian nightmare they're building. There are leaked memos showing they're actively pushing the boundaries of executive power.
And perhaps even more disturbing are the reports about potentially labeling suspected gang members as enemy combatants.
Wait, what? Enemy combatants. Inside the U.S.
That's the reported proposal. It would fundamentally erode legal protections for citizens, blurring the lines between domestic law enforcement and, well, military action.
That's terrifying. That's authoritarianism 101. Treating Americans like foreign terrorists, denying due process. Unbelievable.
And then there's the investigation into the Columbia student protesters and the continued targeting of Chris Krebs.
Krebs, the guy who actually told the truth about the election being secure, they can't stand anyone who contradicts the dear leader's lies. It's using state power to crush dissent.
It certainly appears that way. And then you have the firing of Liz Oyer at the DOJ.
Right. The whistleblower who exposed Trump's pardon racket, costing us, what was it, $1 billion?
$1 billion, yes. That was her claim. Taxpayer money allegedly impacted by pardons.
$1 billion. They slash funds for parks and schools, but that they can afford. Handing out get-out-of-jail-free cards to their crooked buddies. The sheer gall.
Okay, let's shift to the economy. The declaration of a national emergency over trade deficits to justify tariffs.
Oh, that ridiculous emergency. Just a flimsy excuse, wasn't it? To slap insane tariffs on everything.
Well, it provided a basis for sweeping tariff actions, the 125% hike on Chinese goods, the threats against allies.
He talks fair trade while launching trade wars. Economists are screaming this is going to wreck things.
The projections are worrying. Penn Wharton's model suggested potentially a 6% hit to GDP long-term, 5% wage reduction.
A 6% GDP loss. And the Tax Foundation said, what, $1,200 extra cost per family per year?
That was their estimate, yes.
Right.
An average annual cost increase of $1,200 per household due to these tariffs.
That's real money for real people. He's gambling our economy on these stupid, outdated ideas. His claim they'll pay off the debt. Pure fantasy. Experts say they'll shrink the economy and hurt us all.
There is definitely significant uncertainty, and forecasts do vary. But the general feeling is negative for consumer confidence, and there are rising fears about a possible recession.
And of course, Treasury Secretary Bessent is blaming the last administration. Give me a break.
Well, attributing current issues solely to past actions is difficult given the magnitude of the policy changes we're seeing right now.
It's their default move. Inherit something stable, screw it up, blame the other guy. The uncertainty alone is damaging.
Turning to foreign policy, things aren't looking great there either. The nuclear talks with Iran stalled, renewed sanctions threats. It's adding instability.
Yeah, great move. Threaten Iran before talks even begin. Brilliant diplomacy. No wonder China's hesitant to engage on trade either after all his bluster.
China is certainly proceeding cautiously. And then there's that reported Congo-Rwanda peace deal.
The one tied to bilateral mineral agreements. Sounds shady as hell.
It raises questions, yes, about the motivations, the potential for exploitation masked as diplomacy. And meanwhile, Mexico's President Sheinbaum flatly rejected the offer of U.S. troops.
Tells you everything about how our allies see this administration, doesn't it? Even Mexico's saying no thanks.
And adding to the instability, this NSC proposal to, quote, destigmatize and normalize offensive cyber attacks.
Normalize cyber attacks. Are they trying to start World War III online?
It's a contradictory position, especially while simultaneously trying to weaken cybersecurity agencies like CISA and reportedly cutting intelligence capabilities at CIA and NSA. It seems incredibly risky.
Risky. It's insane. Unleash cyber war while gutting our defenses. Recipe for disaster. Makes us sitting ducks.
And finally, this ties back to controlling the narrative, the attacks on dissent on the press, defunding NPR and PBS because they're supposedly biased media.
Biased means doesn't lick Trump's boots. It's a direct assault on a free press. They want state-run propaganda, not journalism.
They claim transparency while actively trying to silence independent outlets and boost friendly ones like Breitbart or Gateway Pundit.
Yeah, most transparent administration ever. What a joke. Okay, so where does this leave public opinion? People must see through this crap.
Well, approval ratings remain consistently low, generally around 40%, and polling shows a huge partisan divide. Pew had something like 84% of Democrats strongly opposing these policies.
So most people aren't buying it. And we saw the May Day protests, right? People hitting the streets against this agenda.
Yes, significant public pushback. However, support within the Republican Party, while maybe showing some hairline cracks in certain polls, it remains largely consolidated.
They've still got the party base by the balls, basically, using culture war garbage, DEI, trans rights, abortion, CRT, to distract from the real damage they're doing.
That focus on divisive cultural issues certainly helps maintain partisan loyalty, though, as you mentioned, some polling does suggest unease, even among Republicans, about blind loyalty and questioning his priorities.
Let's hope that unease grows. Okay, so wrapping this up, the picture is pretty damn grim, isn't it?
Yes. The first few months show a really rapid, very concerning push to implement a radical agenda. It aligns disturbingly closely with Project 2025. We're seeing institutions weakened, legal norms disregarded, risky economic policies, unstable foreign relations.
It's a full-spectrum assault on democracy, people. Plain and simple. Using executive power like a sledgehammer, installing hacks, attacking courts, tanking the economy, silencing anyone who disagrees. This isn't politics. It's a slide into authoritarianism, and Project 2025 is their roadmap.
The speed and the sheer scope of it all means, well, vigilance is absolutely crucial. Staying informed is key.
Damn right it is. Stay informed, stay pissed off, and don't let these bastards get away with it. And make damn sure you keep listening to the Deep Dive Report Show. Like, subscribe, and click that notification icon. You'll catch them in the next breaking news.